Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is with us as always. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Jana and Jason are on the line. How you doing, guys?
Awesome. How are you?
Good.
Oh, I just realized that their camera's on the wrong side.
No, it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
No, I got to move it.
I'm in the
Sam
fish
Sam doesn't like being on camera. I can't let her get away with that.
No,
What do we need to do?
No, I
No,
can do
you're
this.
fine.
Yeah, I can do this. I can look. Whoop, there we go. Look, I'll just slide you right over.
Oh, there.
Yeah,
Oh,
gotcha,
okay. I kind of liked having Sam underneath my.
Hey, human wheelchair.
StartLivingLucky.com.
Oh, I just invented
Wow.
the best sexual position for Sam and Jana.
So first, I'm sorry that I never saw you guys at the BDM Beach Party.
I saw them, though.
I saw them.
We were
Yeah.
just talking
You
about.
were 7 layers deep.
Hello.
Like the line
Yeah.
to see you was longer than the women's restroom.
It's
Yeah,
true. It's
he
true.
That's what
is
I
they
said.
call him the women's restroom of Cocoa Beach. He's like, use my face like a women's restroom. Oh, get me. He's into that kind of stuff, too. He's a disgusting, he's a
now,
dirty dog.
It's just we were talking about it on Twitch before we went live, which I screamed we'll do it live every single show. But I don't know how to leave a conversation
This is a great question for Jana.
without making someone feel bad, because what happened, my full intentions were to make it up to Coconuts to see everybody at Coconuts, because I knew there was people on the beach, but there's also people that just went to
Yeah,
Coconuts.
some people don't like to navigate the beach. I get it.
And I wanted to say hi to the musician that we had. I forgot his
Kevin
name.
Ebright.
my
Shout out Kevin Ebright music.
Why won't
He was shouting out BDMs the whole
Yeah,
time.
that
No,
guy
I know,
worked
he's
his
great.
ass off.
Yeah,
I
he
know.
did.
Thanks,
Really
Kevin.
Great job.
Yeah,
he
he
really
did.
did.
He did a great
So,
job.
I wanted to go up there, but then I just people kept stopping me at the beach, and then I
Did
would
you
talk
not
to
go
them.
up
Oh,
there?
God.
Okay, this is a serious question because
Yeah.
I'm trying, as much as you have tried to dig in to my disability of anxiety, I'm trying to dig into your disability, which is I don't even know what we've determined it is yet. Did you not go up to Coconuts a little bit? Be honest, because you didn't remember the musician's
No,
name. And
no.
hold on, just listen to me. And you knew that if you went up there, you were like, "Hey, you did a good job, man." Like you didn't want to do that. Like,
No.
was there a little bit of that uncomfortability? Of,
Sounds like Elvis. We just watched the Elvis movie, and I was like, that sounds like Tom.
yeah,
He does have the hair.
he does today. He does, especially.
Yeah.
You have like old Elvis hair today.
It's not. It has nothing to do with that. It's when people are like, "Hey, Tom," and then I'm talking to them,
Why
and
can't
then
you
they're
just
talking
say,
to
"Hey,
me.
I'll be right back. I need to go say hi to
That's
Kevin
right.
Ebright."
Because I feel
I gotta go grab lunch. I gotta go get a water. You can make any
What's
excuse.
his name? What's his name?
Because like technically you are saying hi. You're like, "Oh yeah, hey man, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna run up and I want to tell Kevin he did such a good job and say hi to Jana, my friend Jana and Jason. I think they're up there. I'll be right back."
Because then they say, "Oh, no problem. I didn't mean to bother you." And then I'm like, "You're not bothering me. What do you want to say?" then they start saying
Well, I
something.
like you better than Kevin Ebright. I like you better than Jana Banana. What do you need to say, man?
And then while I'm having that conversation, then another person
Don't
comes
leave
up,
me.
and then I'm like, "Well, hold on,
Well, hold on, guys. What about Kevin Ebright?
So then, I look at the time. I'm like, well,
Well, you look at the time. Jetpack flies away.
and I'm like, man, this is gonna happen 500 more times on the way up there, and then I'll never even make it up there.
Yeah, that's
So-
why you just got to rip the Band-Aid off. You got to be like, "Guys, I will be right back. I promise you," because you will be right back.
So
This is why you have to get good at it, because it's going to happen over and over and over again.
What is the thought that you're having? What is the thought?
He's
that is
disappointing them.
underneath all
they would be disappointed to be like, oh, Tom didn't
Yeah,
stop
he
to
just
say
said
hi
hi to me, and then he chomped
Yeah,
off to talk to Kevin Ebright, the musician, and that's Jana Banana ruined my time with Tom.
And then they say, like, I know he's a busy guy. He's too big.
yeah.
He's
Gotta go up there and get yourself a Bahama Mama.
moved out of Deltona, thinks he's better than us. That's what I think they say. Like he doesn't care about
It's
the
good
listener.
that we're getting the details that this is the game he's playing in his brain where he's
Oh, yeah.
spiraling, and this is the
Oh,
irrational
man.
fear.
Overthinking.
Yeah,
They're like,
spiraling out of control.
I pay
So the theory is
$1.95 a
that
month.
You're concerned about a couple people that you're with, and possibly not concerned about the dozens or hundreds of people that you're not with.
Yeah.
Because I was down there for 10, 11 minutes waiting to say hello and listening to your story about the last BDM event at the beach.
God, he
where
was
you-
telling that one again.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
Yeah,
were
he's
in a
had that on repeat.
God.
He's had that on repeat.
Yeah. I got about 10 good ones.
I got to be down there with that, but I didn't say hello because you were in the middle of that crowd.
Oh my God! Did you know that? Did you?
know,
You
I
didn't
did.
even know Jason went down there, right?
I
You
didn't.
didn't even know he breached the beach.
Because I get so engaged with listeners. And then my buddy Turkey Leg came over to me. He's like, get
He's
away
like,
from
"You're-"
these people.
He's like, you're talking to nobody,
No,
man. You're
It
just
did
standing
make
there.
me laugh that one of your friends said, "When are you allowed to leave?
Oh,
when can you come hang out with us?"
When can you come hang
I was
out
like,
with
"Damn,
us?"
it's his event."
No, well, because they think
That's
it's all
why I didn't-
ridiculous. They're
Yeah.
like, this isn't real. What is this?
This is stupid.
It's not a real job. Working on the Harley Davidson's a real job.
Oh my
You know,
God!
like,
Yeah, I
you
had to
know,
hear about that all afternoon.
But I was standing directly in front of this lady who was sitting on the beach. It wasn't a listener or anything.
Oh, I had to move you.
Hey, yeah,
yes,
yeah,
I had
yeah.
to move Tom because he's standing
Because I
with his ass to this old. This
Oh
here-
my God.
Jana,
Yeah.
there is this old brown sun hag, and she's sitting in a
Goals.
chair. There's an old brown sun hag sitting in a chair and just sitting there and just soaking up her daily 9 hours of sun. And she is just getting straight burnt. And Tom keeps walking back closer and closer and closer to her where you're about sitting in her lap, man. I had to move you away. You're telling the same story.
I was literally like 18 inches. My butt was from her
Yeah.
face, and there.
Jesus.
And you're
because-
very animated talker.
Yeah, I
you
was
know, like-
screaming some stupid story
Yeah,
that
yeah.
everybody's heard a
Let's
million
hope
times.
you weren't sweating through your shorts like last beach
Oh,
party.
yeah, he had a
I was.
full-on ball sweat.
Anyway, so sorry guys. And
From
then-
behind, Tom looks like a camel. There's just two big hoops on the back of his shorts.
so did you guys?
So wait, I know that from your perspective, you think that you're being noble and you think that you're just being cordial and hospitable, trying to talk to everybody. But in a way, aren't you underestimating their social skills, and aren't you kind of overestimating your own value in a way?
That's what I do. I overestimate
Correct.
my value, underestimate everybody else.
He's like, well, they certainly
That's part
can't
of it.
navigate me leaving them for 2 minutes to go say hi to
yeah.
They
Kevin
don't know how to
Ebert.
talk, so I won't shut
Because
up.
they're
Yeah.
a little baby. They need
Yeah, yeah.
Tom Van to teach them how to be around Tom Van.
yeah, and I feel like I'm like they can't tell me a story. They're not good at it.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell them
Hold
a story.
on, let me tell you a
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Christine in the chat
Hmm?
says she wore her custom Tom and Dan bathing suit, and you didn't even say hi to her.
Yeah.
No,
I saw Christine,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I saw her bathing suit. And in fact, I went to buy one, and they were like, "Oh, you can't buy these. That was a custom."
Yeah, she
made.
made it her own.
Custom made bikini.
I saw her and I thought I hugged her.
Oh, she said, not even a wave, she said.
No. what? I
maybe
shook
during
everybody's hand.
photos, but you didn't make it. I ate lunch with Christine and her husband, and then their
He ate ribs with his
and then their muscly friend with a mustache.
I saw that. My wife saw Christine's custom Tom and Dan bathing
bikini.
suit.
It's awesome.
And then my wife's like, where did she get this?
Yeah.
And then I thought for a second, I'm like, did we
we
sell
do a
that?
pre-sale?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't remember.
Everything's pre-sale.
We should, though.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It is great, but it was a pretty penny from what I understand. It's not a cheap bathing suit at all.
Yeah. It was the Cabana
She
print.
literally had Tom and Dan on her nipples. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw
Whoa.
that.
And she could have the real ones too. if
Didn't
she
wave
wanted.
at her, but he looked at her.
Yeah. You just say the word, lady, and we're there.
Yeah. And then see now I feel bad because
You don't need to feel bad.
I
No, it was all scattered.
snubbed
No,
Christine.
it was divide and conquer. You know how it goes.
And it
man.
was a great event. And people don't realize how hard it is to manage your time and to actually get around to see everybody in an event like that.
you can't do
So
it. That's
I
kind
think
of
y'all did a great job.
well. That's
Thank
kind
you,
of
man. I
yeah, for
appreciate
sure.
that. Thank you.
That's kind of why we do the pictures, because it allows us to do the hey, come here, do a picture, and they leave, and you talk to as many people as you can. Without that, we couldn't go around because inevitably, and then you're drinking, so then like you don't know how long you've been telling the same story.
Oh, man, you're
Oh,
talking
yeah.
in circles.
Boy, we do.
You're like, I've been telling the story for half an hour. People are.
They've left. Come back.
I'll talk
Have
to
you ever thought that maybe you were holding them hostage?
Oh,
Like
they'll
you feel like they're holding you, but have you ever thought that maybe it just
I've thought because they're backing up, and I'm just continuing. I'm
you're
walk
chasing
talking.
them 2 coconuts?
I'm walk talking as they
Walk Dog dogging.
as they try to
Waka
leave.
Taka, waka, taka.
They're trying to leave. Like I've had people be like, "All right, that's enough."
Please stop.
Yeah, waka, taka,
And
flame.
you're like,
Like,
well, let me tell you about last year's event.
I was doing
If you
it.
think this is bad, wait till I tell you about last year's.
I was doing it to a kid who just wandered by and was coming up to check out what was going on,
Yeah.
and I thought he was a BDM, and then
You're,
I'm like,
Oh
you're
my
making
God.
less listeners.
and then he was
You're harassing children?
and where he was like he was like, I just came by, like he literally.
I'm just looking for my dad.
No, he was like, I just came by to see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I just
Like,
wanted to see why you were screaming, man.
So
Have you seen The Chosen? Because it kind of reminds me of just this guy walking around talking and gathering disciples.
well, I you know,
There's some truth to that.
I'm instead of gathering, I'm scattering.
yeah.
Where people
Yeah.
are like, I didn't want to be here. I didn't want this much conversation with you.
Oh, good.
I
I'll
just want
scatter
some
you.
beach.
Yeah, scatter them, Tom.
So
I had to push people to the gift bags because you wouldn't stop talking to them. I'm like, we got a line of people to take pictures.
I know.
Well, we appreciate you guys being there. Thanks for making the trip. It was good
It was
seeing
awesome. We had a really good time.
you. What'd you guys end up doing?
We talked to some people at the bar. They were telling us all about coconuts, which that was the first time I had been there. I had a really great discussion with Tiffany. I haven't seen her in over a decade.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
you got to
was
see Tiff.
awesome.
That's great.
And I learned all about her new restaurant. I'm so excited for her.
Yeah.
I don't think
And that was
Tom, did you
fun.
see Tiffany?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I saw
okay.
her.
I didn't see Tiff.
gotcha.
Daniel's at Coconuts.
Because
and
I
then
had, like, all jokes aside, I had the opposite of Tom. When I went up to Coconuts to eat, I ate with everybody, and then I couldn't get back down because people were kind of holding me
Yeah.
there. So it was divide and conquer.
Did you talk Cash S with Tiffany about Clear Channel? Because she
Yeah,
hates
did
them.
you get-
Hates them
she
good.
hates them good.
I'm joking. So I want to talk about delivering wheelchairs to Mexico. So, which sounds,
It's on my paper too, and it says right here on my paper.
which
it
sounds
says,
like a joke that my
Yeah.
pop-up told me at Wendy's.
I honestly thought when I saw this on my desk, here it is. You can hear it. It says delivering wheelchairs to Mexico. I thought this had fallen out of Jackie the Joke Man's binder. This is an old Howard Stern joke about deliver the wheelchairs to Mexico.
So what is it?
Jason and I find ourselves in these situations. I kid you not. We named our company Living Lucky, and that is what is happening. I feel like these opportunities are just kind of falling into our lap. We were called to be keynote speakers for this foundation called Share the Love. And what they do is they get all of these CEOs into a room and they raise money to buy wheelchairs for people around the globe that have never had access to medical equipment
That's
before.
awesome. Yeah, that's great. Like
Yeah,
a proper chair.
That's what I said. And I was like, that's awesome. I would love to be the keynote speaker. And the more that I learned about their foundation, I was like, how else can we be involved? Because this just sounds fabulous. And they said, well, actually, we have 4 trips coming up. Because of the pandemic, we have like 300 wheelchairs that we haven't been able to deliver. And so we have 4 trips all over the globe. And we're getting ready to do these deliveries. And I was like,
We'll go.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
Jason,
awesome.
I would be great at that.
I mean, I'm dare I say that a company or let's say an organization named Share the Love. I feel like that is you. You are Share the. You know what I mean? Like when I think of like the embodiment of like even the chat room was like that's a great name, unbelievable. Like knowing your story, where you came from. Yeah, this sounds amazing.
So Jana, in like like third world countries and stuff where people don't have access to wheelchairs,
So expensive.
what do they do instead? I mean, what's the alternative when
Skateboard.
they don't have that?
Skateboards.
Really?
Skateboard, be carried by their family. I mean, it's
They scoot.
Yeah, I
A lot
wasn't
of times
joking.
They scoot. It's really sad sometimes to see what happens. Sometimes they just stay in bed for their entire lives.
My God.
Oh my God, that's
and
Tom says his wife does that. Yeah,
Well,
Share the Love.
I mean,
Yeah,
when I leave, that's what she said.
Yeah.
I mean, when I come back, she's
Exactly.
awake,
Yeah.
but I don't know when I'm gone.
she's sitting in a Mexican wheelchair smoking a joint.
So you would think that like there would be some sort of hack to a shopping cart, and follow me here, where like they like if you don't have access to wheelchairs, you could fold a shopping cart or like cut it here, fold it over.
I'm sure there's some guys that can do that. But like you gotta have.
They've done that. Sometimes they'll use a wheelbarrow, but think about it. I mean, if
Well,
you
that's
have
just.
to be pushed
I mean, that's
around,
just insulting.
you know,
If you put me in
in
a
a wheel-
wheelbarrow, yeah. If you put me in a wheelbarrow, that's insulting.
Yeah, and you're still reliant on someone else.
yeah, you're always reliant on someone else, and it's like, okay, push me over there, push me over here. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom. I mean, you just become a burden, and over time, it just is like, all right, you kind of start feeling like just leave me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get it. Yeah.
Well, how much, like, I don't even know if you were going to buy a wheelchair, right? A standard. I don't know if there's
Yeah.
like a standard one.
There
like,
is.
What does that even cost? I have no
I
idea.
think it's a lot.
Okay, so
It's
so
like I
for
think it
me-
blows your hair off. It's so much.
Yeah, so for me, I buy titanium wheelchairs because those are the lightest
Yeah.
chairs that they make right now. And for me, my last wheelchair, I was denied by my insurance company. My chair cost me $8,000 out of pocket.
Wow.
Now, why? I'm just asking. Is this?
That's what one of those hover surfboards costs
Yeah.
I see on Facebook.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like the
And that's with nothing
hydrofoil.
on it.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
why?
and I've had it now for about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And I would probably say in about another year or so, it's probably going to be time to get another one.
Right.
And so it'll probably be, let's fight the insurance company again. And we hired a lawyer. Like we went through that, and I was like, it's either going to be pay a lawyer to fight this again, or just buy it myself.
Do they
It's
cover nothing at all?
Crazy.
Like, they cover because it's amazing.
The last one
Basically,
they
it was
didn't.
no,
The last
we had
one they
notes
did
from the
not.
doctor's office, like all these notes saying that was necessary, and the insurance company just says, no, you don't need a wheelchair. You don't need a new wheelchair.
And so many people in my life have said, Jana, this needs to be your work. Like you need to start making, but I don't want to make this my life.
I get it.
Like
Yeah.
I get frustrated making this my own work to the point where
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
I spend so many hours on the phone, and here's the thing is insurance companies are trained to deny.
Right.
They are trained to deny you so many times so that you get frustrated and you just give up. That's the way they're trained.
God, we got a couple more people in the chat room weighing in. We've got one wheelchair that, is a little more technical for a little more severe deal that's up to $35,000. We got another listener who says her chair was close to $6,000. I mean, these are super duper expensive. I will laugh for just a split second
Yeah.
with the people in the chat room. I will laugh at the idea of an insurance company telling someone who is paralyzed that they do not need a wheelchair. That is extremely funny to me. That's quite maybe the funniest joke I've ever heard. That's insane.
I couldn't
Insane.
believe it. And
Yeah.
and what Chair of the Love does is they buy in such bulk. So they buy shipping containers full of chairs, and they get a durable chair that's not going to be titanium and not all this, and they put tires on it that are going to work in a third world environment.
Gotcha.
So these
So they-
chairs cost around $350 to $450, I think, per chair, which is a great deal and a great value for the new user.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Especially if you're coming from no chair, bedridden, whatever.
Even
yeah.
$450, which I'm sure probably the cheapest they could possibly make it is insanely too expensive for anybody that's below or even at poverty level. Like no one's got an extra $450 for a wheelchair that is only going to last 2 or 3 years. So it's cool that you're doing that. Now,
That's amazing.
Speaking of wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Because I did hear that you guys were there, and then I heard that Jason came down to the beach and Jana stayed at Coconuts because she's in a wheelchair and like you can't go through the sand. But then I went to Discovery Cove this year, and they have these wheelchairs with big balloony tires, the
Yeah,
beach wheelchair,
Bigfoot, like a Bigfoot
And then
chair.
I wondered if you've ever had one of those balloonies.
I've tried them before, and they probably had one there at Coconuts if I would have looked around a little bit.
They did, but some of our bigger listeners.
Oh yeah, they can't walk, so they
Yeah,
use
some
them.
of our bigger listeners, they just get tired grilling hot dogs, so they were using it as like a resting station. I'm sorry. Is that disrespectful?
I'll tell you what happened when we were in Minnesota about 2 months ago. We were on vacation and we went to this beach, and I I don't know. I thought it would be funny to bury myself in the sand. I did one of those
love you,
pictures,
Jana.
you know,
You do the dumbest, craziest stuff. I love you.
Oh.
yeah.
That is so great.
And anyway, for the next 2 weeks, I had little pebbles that got into my wheels.
Oh, I
And
thought
so
you were going to say
everywhere
Come on. Come on.
I thought you were talking
Come
about.
on.
Oh,
Come
my
on.
God.
And I am telling you,
She sounded like a maraca.
I did. And we took my wheels apart. We took them to the bike store. They took my wheels apart.
Yeah.
And the whole way home in the airport, we were shaking my wheels. There's just a tiny hole in the wheel that a pebble could get in. And there was just like a kernel of sand. And we
One
were, like,
piece of popcorn. One piece of
shaking.
unpopped popcorn in there.
Yes. And it annoyed me so much that I was like, I'm not getting near that sand. I'm not. And the other
I don't
thing
blame you.
is that sometimes the salt in the salt water can start rusting my
Casters.
yeah.
Horrible.
You know
As
what
soon as
really
Sandy
rusts
gets-
my
I mean,
casters?
well,
I'm going to start saying that. That's
For
good.
$8,000 wheelchair, you can't, take any chances of
It's like
having
buying a
rust.
Ferrari, man. It's like
Yeah.
you're buying a
Yeah,
a top tier
crazy.
vehicle.
Well, Jan and
Those are
Jason.
expensive shoes.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'll just sit up here, and I talked to Tracy for a while.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like I said, I met some people. I talked to Stormy. I met Stormy and
Stormy
James.
Daniels was there. A lot of people
Oh.
don't know that. Yeah, she was there.
She'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, lock her up. Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah.
She told us everything.
Jan and Jason, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you guys.
man,
It's
we lo-
always fun.
Yeah, we
And
love chatting with you guys. I'm sorry if we always go crazy. I always feel like you guys, you want to like, hey, this time we're going to be serious. This time we're going to do it, guys. And then you call in and then we just go all crazy on you. But we appreciate you being such great sports go-to.
We love the crazy.
Yeah, one
Okay.
of our
Love
highest
it.
values is fun.
We'll
and
keep
you
it
guys are
up
part of
there.
that.
StartLivingLucky.com. We love you guys. And we'll talk to you in about a month or so.
See you soon.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
guys. Be good.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Head over to tomanddan.com. Subscribe to be a BDM. Easy way to do that. There's a love meter. You can give the show extra money. And when you do sign up, you get extra shows and private parties. We just rolled out the big beach party. That was a lot of fun, but I'm looking forward to a lot of those little micro parties we'll be doing. And you'll be at Toll Road. When is that one?
September 30th at
Yeah.
7:30.
There you go.
I was talking to the CBE guys today and telling them, like, get everybody together, come out and let's have some beers.
So September 30th. So the day before that, though, I am able to go to St. Pete to the, is it Floridian Social Club, to see
Yes.
our good friend, rapper, attractive British man, comedian, writer.
yeah.
What else? What am I missing? Overall super smart cat. And he's on Zoom with us right now. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man?
Hello, Dan. Hello, Tom. Hello, everyone. I'm so grateful that your list of things that I am started with rapper.
Yeah.
Makes me feel so good. I think the first time we met, it was comedian and rapper. And now you're like, no, that's his main thing, rapper all the way.
Gotta go rapper. Yeah, because
Yeah.
people know as soon as I say that, if I say British rapper to our listeners, they go, oh, yeah, what's Chris doing? They love you, dude.
But I also feel, and Chris, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that like
You're wrong.
a
No.
freestyle rapper, I feel like you have to make that like specific, terminology.
Make it known.
Because there's, in my mind, there's a completely like different genre of like rapper and then freestyle rapper. Like in a
agree.
freestyle rapper, their brains work differently.
Different art form.
And not that many people can do it. It's like, but I feel regular rapper, like I feel a lot of people can memorize a rap and then rap it back to you. Freestyle rapping is completely different.
Yeah, I think that is true. I think people, if I just said rapper, they'd be like, where's your chain? Whereas when I go freestyle rapper, they go, oh, nerdy white dude. That checks out.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, Chris, what have you been up to? I know, God, I don't remember the last time. It's been over a year.
I
think.
feel like there's a series of really huge accomplishments that we have not caught up with that you have done. Like, I feel like there's a bunch of little check the boxes because I remember when we met you, what, is it like 3 years ago now?
Yeah, but we
Or-
talked
Yeah,
to
probably
you.
2018 or 2019. I think 2018.
I think we caught up with you during the pandemic before everything opened back up again.
And we remembered him before he was married.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
now
yeah.
he's married.
Yeah, we talked to you about your wedding and stuff. So
Yeah.
what? Tell us what's been going on.
Yeah, let's go in order. So, still married. That's the main.
Congrats!
important
All
thing.
right.
Yeah, I'm killing it. And then we moved to New York. That's probably a big thing. Coming to you live from New York City now.
Nice.
That's been great. Having a fun time there at the Comedy Cellar, getting on stage with a bunch of...
Is that your
you
home
know,
club? Is that where you're you've been passed, I guess?
Yeah, the Comedy Cellar, yeah.
That's
so
a good one.
I get to go on after Ray Romano and Chris Rock, and the audience are like, wow, there's another comedian after Chris Rock? This person must be incredibly famous.
I mean, is it hard to decide when you decide to land in New York? Do you put any intensive thought into which club you want to make the one that you try things and your home base? Is it based on proximity? How do you decide that as a comedian?
For me, it was an unusual one. Just that the Comedy Cellar said, hey, if you lived here, we'd put you on every night. And so I moved to New York.
Yeah.
Chris, is it did Corona?
That's a great reason to do it too. It's we'll do it.
Because everybody knows rent and real estate prices in New York are crazy, and pre-Corona, the Grizz's brother lived in New York one time while he was working on the Brooklyn Bridge or something. And he lived in Brooklyn, and he told me he's I paid $2,800 a month for rent, and I'm it's not that bad. He's that's me and 4 other guys in a 2-bedroom apartment pay that. And I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm you pay, they all pay $2,800 a month. That's your split? He's like, yes. I'm like, God, I'm that's great. And he's like, it's not even the best part of town either. It's, it's on. Anyway, so did COVID cause rent prices and real estate?
Yeah, so I would love to come in and be like, no, I'm just a really rich rapper, Tom, and I just was able to swan in and get a 5-bedroom brownstone. But what happened was we moved here in the pandemic because New York finally became affordable because everyone left. And so everything was empty, and you just rocked up and was like, hello, I'd like an apartment. And landlords were desperate to have you in there. So we did a smart thing with that move, I think. And it's worked out quite well.
I mean, if you want to get the value, definitely, because
especially areas that are epicenters of entertainment that will become just as desirable, if not more so, than they were before, right? I mean, it has to get back to what it was.
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
I mean,
and it has, there's, all the clubs are busy, there's sellouts all the time. So that was the first thing, moving to New York. Second thing, I had a baby. That's the big one, I guess.
That one I didn't know about. Wow, I feel so disconnected, but congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I will pass on the congratulations to my wife, because I realized I said I had a baby as if I had anything to do with it.
Right.
Really, we had a baby.
Yeah.
Well, you did do something, but I've made the joke before. What we did was the least amount of work. Almost no work.
Yeah. I would do that for free.
You can make the argument that it was something that we were lucky to do.
Yeah, exactly. I feel honored to do that.
Yeah. And then
it's very much like my wife mixed and kneaded and shaped and baked a loaf of bread, and then I just look at it with a packet of yeast and go, I made that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Chris, you're living in New York, and I've always wanted to do this, but I've never had any talent that would allow me to do this.
You want to be a busker?
No, but it's called The White Men Can't Jump, which is when you go to a local basketball court, and then you dress like a nerd, and then you sit on the bench, and you high white socks or whatever, and then someone, they're picking teams, and then someone inevitably says I'll take the nerd, and then they all laugh, and then the nerd's like, who, me? And then they're like, and then the guy's like, oh, you never win with this guy. You're like, I'll bet you.
Is that how you would do it? You'd be like, who, me? Okay.
And then the nerd is killing it. He's dunking the ball. He's crossing people up.
And you want Chris to, you want to use his rapping skills.
So then I imagine there's a bunch of people freestyle rapping in a circle, and then Chris
like
walks
an
by.
Underground cipher.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Chris walks by, and then everybody's like, somehow they bring Chris in to make fun of him, he can't do it, and then he blows.
He's just there to deliver some Uber Eats. Or something.
Yeah. You pretend to be an Uber driver, and then you blow everybody out of the water because you're an amazing freestyle artist. Have you done that?
I feel like it would be even better if I did it with my baby. If I just rock up with a pushchair with a baby in it, and I'm just like, "Oh, do you mind if we watch?" And they're like, why don't you have a go?" And I'll just be like, "Okay," and then jump in. I have not done that because I've not seen these groups of people freestyling on street corners. That is not. I think you have this very romantic idea of New York City. That's not what it is.
Yeah,
that's what I saw in the
does.
movies.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was
Tom also felt like if he got off the Greyhound in just a pair of Daisy Dukes, that any porn director, he'd just get in their limo and they'd whisk him off.
So, Chris, how's it being a dad?
It's wonderful. I mean, we're blessed to have a very, very good baby. This is a baby who I can't even show off about her because people just get jealous. Like, "Oh, must be nice that your baby sleeps."
Yeah, don't talk about that. I had the same thing with Maisie. Maybe it's a girl thing. Do not talk about that. You will piss some people off bad, because Maisie's always slept through the night.
Well, except
and
for
still
the
does.
11 months of colic she had.
Yeah, well, it was 3 months of colic. The 3 months of colic was horrible, but almost a negotiable trade now.
Yeah, so it's great. The baby's great. I'm the one that has to learn the most. Like, the baby's just a baby. I'm having to learn how to be a dad and a comedian dad, because she'll do things and I want to tell jokes about them on stage, and I think, what will future baby, who is then a grown-up, think about these jokes?
Oh, Tom never thinks
hold
about
on.
that.
You're doing it all wrong.
Yeah, I should have thought about those things.
I use my family for jokes. I tell their business. I tell the most embarrassing things about them. I make fun of them if they,
Yeah.
But here's what I'm banking on, Chris. They'll never listen back to it.
The technology will be too old by the time they're there.
And they'll never be curious about, think about it. Like, if my mom told me my dad had some sort of radio show in the 70s, I
would definitely listen to that.
Well, now that
You
he's
wouldn't
dead,
be curious?
Now that he's dead, as long as you don't die, they will never go back and listen to any of your stuff. But if you do die, they will be curious and be like, "What was my dad like?" Unless you're like me, and then you're just too lazy to be curious. Those are going to be my broken.
That's fair. Okay, cool. I'm going to put my baby on blast. I'm going to talk about her all the time. The main thing I've had to
Don't
learn
take
is my
parenting
wife.
advice from Tom.
My wife will just tell me to stop trying to be funny around like authority figures. So like the daycare people and the pediatricians, because I forget that they don't know I'm a comedian. So I'll make what I think's a joke and they think is just a really bad parenting decision. Because go to the pediatrician and go, "Oh, this baby hasn't been pooping for a week. What should we do?" And the doctor says, "Well, you need to give them food that's going to make them poop." And I just said, "Oh, like Taco Bell." And the doctor looks at me like, "No, prunes. You can't feed a baby Taco Bell." I'm like, well, that was my attempt at a joke.
Yeah, you look like an idiot. I see, like, Chris, you're a friendly person. You like human beings. Tom doesn't have this because he doesn't chirp. See, you chirp. I chirp. Like, you'll make little jokes here and there. If he goes to the pediatrician and he's standing there, you're dead silent the entire time, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm dead silent. And then I start asking, I'm like, well, this doctor must know about my problems as a doctor, and I'm paying for this visit, so just give me. And
He
then
does do that.
and
We
then
were just talking about this yesterday, where if he's at the doctor
I'll
for
be like,
his son,
my hands are numb.
yeah, he'll be like, "What do you think of that, doc?"
And then the doctor is like, you have to go, and they get mad about it, like I'm trying to cheat their,
You're trying
get
to
knowledge
get a
for
freebie.
free.
You get a freebie out of here.
Anyway, so Chris, like career-wise, because I know you've been traveling around, you're doing shows like crazy. Obviously, you're doing this show in Tampa coming up. And
29th, Floridian Social Club, pardon me.
And I, because of this job, we had to get TikTok, and then I've been exploring TikTok, and because it's younger generation social media. And then I see these TikTok artists or whatever.
I see these TikTok artists
And-
out here
No,
jumping
man.
around, and everybody's pretending to be a black grandma.
No, they'll pretend to turn on the phone, and then they'll point it at their buddy, and then they'll like pretend to throw out something, and they'll immediately start rapping. But you could tell that it's just rehearsed, right? And they're faking the ability to freestyle, and I can tell they're doing it, and like this was a rehearsed thing, but then I'm like, well, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like it. And can you tell, Chris, when someone is rehearsed or someone's legitimately coming up with everything at that moment?
I think so. I think anyone can, just as you can tell when someone is acting in a movie, unless they're Mark Rylance, the greatest actor ever, who just makes everyone else look like they're acting. Yeah, you can tell. Sometimes, they'll come out with something and you go, well, that's not possible to freestyle like that. That's written. And, but also, who cares? It will out people. At some point, someone will come up to them. It'll be like Harry Houdini when you're like, I can take any punch in the stomach. One day, someone is going to kill you with that punch. So one day, someone's going to come up to you and say, "Hey, rap about the tensional strength of steel," and they'll go, "What? I need a day to go and research that."
And also, Chris, when you're doing what you do, I've watched your videos, I've seen you do it a million times. It's almost like I can hear and see your brain thinking of where to go and then putting words together that
that's why I'm urging people to go and check him out, because you have to see him do it.
But on the
fly, it really is impressive that you can see it. You can see the process.
And you're molding words so they fit and stuff like that. And then when someone does it too, like they have a rap planned out, it's like you could tell. It's like you didn't mold that word together so it fit. This thing was all planned out. It's like I see people that legitimately freestyle rap.
We can see you expelling energy. It's like other people when they do it, I'm like, you're not doing anything. This guy's doing something.
I don't know what that is. Can you explain that to the audience? Like, what is that?
I love the idea of having my videos with just a little soundtrack of kind of grinding of gears in the background and like my little interior monologue going, oh gosh, I've got to make up a rhyme. Oh, come on, Chris. Oh, what rhymes with this? What rhymes with that? Oh, there we go. There, we've got it.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, like the only way I can describe it is there's so much more time in my brain than there seems to be. Like when you drop something and time slows down and you kind of go, no, and you're like, why didn't I grab it? There was so much time. It's like that my brain slows time down. And that's not anything special from mine. That's something that everyone does.
Sure.
Right? When you're a better tennis player, you see the ball move slower. And it's just kind of like that. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's what geniuses do. Like their brain is working more efficient than us dodos who, it always seems fast to me. Everything.
Hold on, slow down. I can't understand what you're saying.
Have you ever thought, Chris, like if it wasn't freestyle rapping, that it could be like
he might already
rocket science or
do you apply this technique to anything else in your life?
I don't think so. I mean, I've had YouTube comments years ago that have stuck in my brain, which was this one person who went on a crusade on every video just saying like, think about the amazing things you could do if you didn't waste your talent with freestyle rap.
Oh my God.
He was saying that I could have cured cancer. I could, be saving the planet. I could have found simple ways to desalinate seawater. And I'm just like, maybe, but also, you don't get people standing up and applauding when you do that. You maybe, when you win your Nobel Prize, but that's always 50 years later.
Yeah.
So you know what? Let the planet burn, and I'll just get my applause on stage while I can.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Also, like you're into what you're into too.
Yeah, you can't choose that.
Yeah. Like you're not into microbiology. It's like if you were, I imagine that your same brain, maybe like the geniuses of the world that are into science and others, that are like curing things. They're driven just like you're driven to be an entertainer, right? Is that like it's got to be the same type of brain activity happening because it's so
gotta be similar. Yeah.
It's so fast that it's like it blows my mind. I'm like, Daniel can do it a little bit, but
not like that.
But it's still the same kind of thing.
Do you at all like? I mean, like when you're, I was trying to think of other. Like other areas where you could even do something with this, but I guess like it is kind of
unique to
it is. I think it's hyper unique, and it is it something that you always do when you do your comedy, or do you sometimes not have time? Do you run out of time or do people like when they come to see you, are they kind of expecting it and they want it?
Yeah,
do you save it to the
definitely.
end?
I know I always do it in the shows. I did just do a weekend in Oklahoma City where rather than I did 5 shows, and over the course of the 5 shows I realized that there was a bit I was doing in the middle of my show, which is a country song, which was getting the best response of anything I did. So for the last couple of shows, I stopped finishing with the freestyle. I'd do the freestyle just before the end, and then I'd close with the country song, and that would get people popping off. So it's not necessarily always the high point of the show. I mean, that's Oklahoma City. They just were dying for country music. And the fact that I was doing it and putting on an accent being like, this here is a very special song, going out to a very special somebody. They loved that.
I bet
People
they
thought
ate
it
it
was
up.
a song that I was covering. I was like, no, I wrote this song. This is my country song.
That's so cool.
Chris, sometimes, and me and Daniel have talked about this, like if we ever do the show hungover or real tired,
I enjoy it sometimes.
but also like we'll go to like think of a joke or like we'll be talking and then it will just not be there as dulled.
Nothing there.
So you go to find a joke and you can't think of the word.
Nothing there.
Yeah, like
it's like your brain isn't working. It's scary, man. Especially I'm old.
and then there's like, oh, that's because I poisoned it and lack of sleep. I've hurt my
I
brain.
killed myself.
And now it doesn't work as well. And then it comes back after a little bit. But have you ever been performing and then because like you partied too hard the night before or some lack of sleep, all of a sudden like it didn't work as well?
I've had terrible freestyle raps from my perspective, from my POV, where I've just been bedraggled, hungover, sleep deprived, and the audience have still gone, wow, that was great. And inside I just go, oh, you got away with that. You escaped lightly there. And I've also tried it. Like in Edinburgh this year, there's a show I do where you headline at 2 a.m. in the morning and the crowd is really drunk. And I do that show because I want to see how drunk I can get before I can't rap. And so for that drink, you're just like, that's drink. Yeah, I'm drunk now. I can't say show, I'm saying drink instead. I'd had 5 beers and then I was like, okay, let's see if I can rap. And I still could rap. And I thought, wow, that shows that I'm either a genius or an alcoholic, that I can tolerate 5 beers and still freestyle like
Or you're just
pro.
like, or most rappers, I would imagine, are about 5 beers in, right? When they're just really going.
Lean, weed, they're, so fair enough. Maybe it's nothing special.
Well, I was about to say because it feels like to be relaxed actually benefits what you're doing, and maybe anxiety would be the opposite. I feel like if you ever like smoked weed and then had the
panic attack.
sativa panic attack, I feel like that would somehow cloud the ability. Like anxiety would be
see that.
the biggest enemy for freestyle.
Definitely. You have to feel incredibly comfortable and relaxed. You have to believe without question that you can do it. You have to just know that as soon as the beat drops, you can freestyle about it. And if anything gets in the way of that, whether that's nerves from someone important being in the audience or a kind of, a chemically induced anxiety, your rap would just kind of not fall apart because I'm at the level where I can still keep it going, but it would stumble, it would stutter, it would not reach the heights that it can.
Interesting.
And I think 1 drink makes me a better rapper. 2 drinks takes me back to normal. 3 drinks makes me worse, and then it goes down from there.
Okay.
Well,
there you go.
What's the longest you've ever done it for?
For?
Have you thought about like putting out some sort of, because I imagine like you get a lot of views on social media, and like have you ever thought of like, can I do this for 1 full hour? Like, freestyle rap for an hour straight, no break.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no limit to like how long I could go brain wise. There's a limit to how long I could go voice wise. I think my voice would just be worn out eventually. I think like the world record for continuous freestyle rap is over 24 hours. And if you watch it, it's so dull. And I don't know who the rapper is who's done it, and I'm sure they're very good at freestyling, but after the first hour, it's just boring.
Yeah,
it's so
you're right.
boring.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to rap about? And I have no doubt that I could rap for infinite time just with topics if people keep throwing them in, but I'd have no interest in that. I mean,
a 1 hour already sounds boring. and we're talking
exactly.
24 hours. That's a lot of rippity rapping.
It's also crazy to me that
rapping.
your brain would still, like, you wouldn't get like fatigue after a certain amount of time where your brain's just not working.
Why would you say the same thing over and over again?
Well,
I'd be like, I'm back to my pants. They're gonna do a dance, and I'm doing I do my pants again. I got what rhymes with pants, and I just keep doing it over and over, and people are like, boo.
Because Daniel, think about imagine if we try to do a show and actually be entertaining. Like after 4 hours, like
I got nothing.
I think we would start like
It's happened before in here where we get to the final segments and I'm like, dude, I'm on fumes. I have nothing to say right now.
Not as good.
Yeah, I have nothing to talk about.
So Chris, what else besides the shows have you dabbled in? Podcasting and other business realms, or is it just entertaining, doing shows,
Comedy.
So the main thing that I got up to was I went out to Vegas to do 3 months there. So I was in a brand new Vegas show called Mad Apple, which is a Cirque du Soleil production, and they did their first ever Cirque show with comedians in, and I was one of those first comedians to ever perform with Cirque.
Really?
Which was, it's wild. It was 1,200 people per show, 2 shows per night. I did it for 3 months, and I learned many things, including the fact that Vegas audiences, maybe 25% of them do not speak English. So imagine that, walking out and going, what do you guys want to rap about? And people are just on their phones going, another comedian? Ugh, we don't understand this. Also, the most common suggestions in Vegas are strippers. And if you go, come on, be more exciting, they just go, sexy strippers. You're like, great. Wow.
Yeah.
So
I was going to yell stripper and then sexy stripper.
I have heard that where, it's just all tourists.
Yeah.
And
in for the day.
Tourist audiences, sometimes can be predictable in how lackluster they are, I guess, which is weird because
we
you think
get that sometimes at the improv.
The improv,
Yeah,
because we get such
That's
a
right
tourist
there on
audience.
I-Drive.
Yeah.
So the audience is not the best in Vegas?
It can vary. It just means that there's always a big section of the crowd who have gone there because it's a Cirque show, and so they're expecting wordless clowning and acrobatics, and then we're going, hey, actually, there's 3 comedians in with all that stuff, which for some people that makes it a better show, but for people who are there for the traditional Cirque experience, they are a bit surprised that I'm walking on and going, what do you guys want to rap about? And they go, do a backflip. I go, great suggestion. I'm like, no, do a backflip.
Now, did you think about learning one backflip?
Yeah, just to really, they'd be like, oh my God, he did it.
I think
Genuinely, I asked the head coach, I said, in 3 months, could you teach me to do a backflip? And he said, sure. And I said, cool, so how do I start? He goes, well, just do a forward roll. And I went, I cannot do that. And he goes, okay, we can't teach you to do a backflip.
Oh, you have to have the prerequisite of the forward roll. Yeah, you got to be able to do the forward roll.
So, and was it a different freestyle? I mean, obviously, yes, but I'm just wondering with that.
Well, if on a Tuesday he got strippers, the sexy strippers, and then the Wednesday it's strippers, sexy strippers, I'm guessing he would.
Well,
I would just do the same one.
It's a lot of faith they had in you, Chris, with a show that I imagine is so well rehearsed that everything's down to the second.
Also, he's so proper. I feel like you're one of the only comedians that I know of that I would put my Cirque show in your hands. I mean, that's a compliment.
It's a huge brand.
We know a ton of comedians, and this is truthful. And I think that most of them would agree with me when I say this. A lot of them are pieces of S. They're just not good.
No, they're fine.
No, they're not. A lot of them are, Sam, back me up on this. A lot of the comedians we know are just not good people. But Chris is breaks the mold a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like he's got the wife and the kid.
Wholesome,
and he's got it all together. I mean, if he wants to give you a dirty rap.
Sam is so skeptical. Sam says he seems wholesome.
I don't know.
Well, she's
haven't
skeptical.
spent enough time with him.
She's paranoid.
She's skeptical of everybody. Even me.
Yeah,
Everyone's got the skeletons.
Yeah, we've all got the skeletons, according to Sam.
Yeah.
But you are one of one that I know of that I would say oh yeah.
Nothing crazy has come out about you yet, so that's good.
And he can keep it on time.
Yes,
He's
again,
gonna-
just so skeptical. Nothing
Because
yet.
eventually it will.
Also, you're British, which I
It
feel
gets
like
everybody.
there's a stereotype that you guys are more proper and that you can
Yeah,
handle
yeah.
more. Older, you guys are like an older country.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
how to do it longer. We're the new guys.
Yes, the stiff upper lip that we have, which we've shown to be not really existent with the massive outpouring of grief for the Queen. There's currently a 5-mile queue to see her coffin, which
Oh,
is...
man.
I mean, look, she served the country, but 5 miles, people are waiting. It's like the new iPhone's coming out, and the queue for that is half a mile, maybe.
Well, I wish
wild.
I could, but also I can't have the Queen shipped to my house so I could view her. If I could
very
do that,
true.
if I could do that, I would do it.
But it's you're just looking at a casket. It is, I guess, a huge thing. But I don't know if you'd wait how long is that wait for 5 miles? I mean, you're waiting 8.5 hours.
Yeah, how long
think
can you
it's more
stand
than
in
that.
front of the casket? Do you got a time limit?
Yeah, they just
Well,
they
think of how long it takes to walk 5 miles, and
Long
that's
time.
2 essentially. So it's already 2 hours of traveling, and people are walking slowly. So it must be. It's a half a day minimum.
What are there going to be a parade through the streets or something? Not parade, but procession or whatever.
Yeah, parade is not the right word. This isn't New
sorry.
Orleans. There's not a second line. They're not just going ba 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 ba.
Yeah, I think
I'm sorry.
I think they take her.
I'm disrespectful Florida trash.
There will be. I would imagine there'd be a procession to her final resting place, which I'm not sure where it's at. So they'll either maybe put it on some sort of a horse-drawn wagon and take it somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
I
just
think we
guessing.
had the procession already, and I think now she's in Westminster, and then she will be buried in part of that. Although there might be another procession, and then she's buried at a castle. I can't remember exactly. Her funeral is on the 19th.
Okay.
So there's 4 more days of viewing her.
And you're going to be at Floridian Social Club on the 29th.
Yes.
Yeah, 10 days later.
Yeah.
So hopefully by then the queue will have died down.
Right.
And they'll be able to come and see me.
So, Chris, when you come into Florida, you fly in.
Are you bringing the family, or is this just you?
No, this is just me. My the family will stay here because it's a bit weird to just be like, hey, they already came to Vegas with me, so my daughter has already developed a crippling gambling addiction. I tried to teach her. She was like, her preschool people say, make sure she learns to count. I'm like, I'll take her to the casino. I'll be like, count these cards. We'll make a fortune. Unfortunately, she is not a genius yet, so no, it's just going to be me.
Chris, when can you tell? Because you'll know from your own brain that your daughter's brain works the same way and she has the same ability.
I hope she already does it.
Yeah, I mean, she can rhyme dada and dada.
Yeah, there you
it's
go.
pretty great.
But is there like some sort of tell that you'll be able to know, like, oh, she's got it? Like my one son, my oldest son, doesn't have emotions like me, and then I'm like, oh, he got it. He like it's
Yeah, you can
whatever
see
the genes are in his brain passed over, and he's got some sort of the same piece.
Yeah, the things that you see that you didn't actively put in there, but they're in there is quite remarkable.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what that's going to be. I mean, I'm not trying to indoctrinate her with freestyle. It will seep in, because whenever I'm doing anything with her, I'm rapping or making up a song. And that's not for my benefit. That's for, like, her. It's to entertain her. She likes it. If I don't want to be soupy like you. You're covered with stink like a poopy diaper. Something like that, It's...
Oh, I love that.
Well,
Chris, she
Chris,
won't appreciate me telling you that.
Yeah.
She poops herself a lot.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I wouldn't be a good radio show host if I didn't
Don't do
ask
it. No,
you
don't
to
do it. Don't do it.
freestyle. What do you mean don't do it?
I was going to go the opposite and say, can we do an interview with him where we sell the comedy? Go see him.
Right.
And if you want to see the freestyle, you got to go see it, because
Gotta
it's
pay
not
for
going
it,
to
yeah.
it's not going
I'm
to
greedy
translate.
radio show host, and I want Chris's value and put it out to our listeners and be like, see what I gave you, Chris Turner freestyle.
But also, like a show host, he doesn't understand how Zoom and the production aspect of things works, and he doesn't understand that playing the music from here while he's freestyle rapping there is harder, and it's not going to sound good.
No, Chris has got the setup. He's got the
He
mic.
can do it.
I have a setup. I definitely can do that if that is something you desire.
If you go to
We can
Chris
just cut
Turner
it halfway,
Comedy,
right?
if you go to ChrisTurnerComedy.com, you can order a personalized freestyle
That's
rap.
what I would urge
well,
everybody
really?
to do. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
can I get one for free?
One for the road. One for the road.
I mean, just,
a little taste.
I'm promoting the show. We'll put it out on our social media. Oh,
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a sample. I was just checking my beat there. Well, let's do
do
a
it.
quick one.
Let's do it. Let's
and
do
then
it.
and then we'll do it that way. So I mean, what do you guys each want to give me a suggestion?
Is it a person, place, thing? What do we do here?
No, whatever. Again, make it wild, make it crazy.
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
samurai sword.
Oh, I
'Cause
was gonna go. That's what I was gonna do.
We were chopping stuff today.
All right, I'll go refried beans.
Great.
I'll go breakfast pizza.
Breakfast pizza, refried beans, and samurai sword. Okay, this is a little beat here by the producer Ill Fortune. It's called Weird Hip Hop Sci-Fi Beat. Let's rap about those things. We're going the dome, no need to think though. Got my nice beans, I be picking out the pinto. If they lack a little bit of black, I put it in there for a tasty snack. Yes, I can refry like a Mexican. I take them there from my tasty can. I try and avoid the Goya brand because they're endorsed by the man with the hands that are small. Yes, I adore surprised. I provide my Mexican friends with the fried beans. Why do they fry them twice, not once? It makes kinda weird, yeah. I put it on a little pan, and if something please sir, I wanna mix it up Italian. I need the pizza, gotta ask American friends. No, I check first. They say I mix my pizza with the breakfast. A little bit of sausage, no mistake, and got my mushroom slice and a bit of bacon off the top of my head. I scrambled the eggs, put it on there in my stomach like lead, cause it's heavy. Maybe I could mix with spaghetti. Italian food, yes, I feel real sweaty. Out to the land of the rising sun. You gotta keep it in the scabbard when you run, otherwise it emerge and slice your tongue. That be seppuku, yeah, it ain't no fun. That's the disembowelment, yes, I'll charm these. The armies committing the harikari or harikiri. I don't really know the word. What am I like? A guy I can observe. I go and stab like a samurai dude. Samurai sword, yeah, I cover it with blood. Blood spelling that like food with a different way. Back in the day, feudal samurai. Get the blade and it's shining. They're showing, they going. No master, the samurai Ronin. Have you seen the movie with the guy, what's his name anyway, Luc Besson? Why I'll be dropping it. There we go, it's rap, and I won't even end it with a rhyme. It's a half. There you go, half
Thank you,
rap.
Chris.
No
That's awesome.
punchline.
That's awesome. No, I mean,
That's how you deal with it. If you want to rap and one who doesn't want to rap, it doesn't get a finishing line.
I'm not sure. It's so amazing to me
it.
that it seems like some sort of trick. I'm like, I cannot believe you're doing it.
You know what? When he does it, I freeze because I freeze and I just start listening to it.
Yeah, because I'm like, there's no way he'll be able to keep
great.
going. Anyway, Chris, thanks so much, man. You've always been awesome. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
September
your daughter-
29th, the Floridian Social Club, Tampa, St. Pete area. Go there, see him, snatch up all the tickets so he'll come back and we'll get to see him again.
Yeah, 100%.
That would be lovely. Well, thank you so much for having me, friends, and all the best until next time.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Chris.
We'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks so much.
See ya.
Bye.
Oh, that's a good man.
Awesome.
It's got a smooth
It's
voice.
yeah, it's so crazy.
Voice.
that,
It's good that he can do that, right? And very cool that we know cool people.
Yeah.
I see people like that, and I don't feel cool anymore.
We met Chris back years ago when he came
4
in for
years
Fringe.
ago at Fringe
Yeah,
Festival.
yeah. And then ever since he every time he comes into town, he
It's
always
amazing he still talks to us.
I know.
He's the only one.
He
He's the
is.
only one. Bert Kreischer
yeah.
turned his back on
Eventually,
him.
though,
Yeah,
he'll
eventually.
also turn his back on us.
Because I feel like that there's like he is moments away from like being a huge
Chris
influencer.
Turner and Piff the Magic Dragon have been really sweet to us.
The
and have
Brits
always-
love us, except if
It's
they work
true.
here. If they work here, we got to fire them. But when
Oh,
they,
yeah.
I wonder if just like you know how Florida white trash like us are fascinated with British people and their accent and think they're
oh
smart and
man,
fancy.
he's rapping. He's British.
I wonder if British people
Are
are
fascinated with
fascinated
trash.
fascinated with trash.
Well, there was a time. Now, Sam, this is before you were there, but there was a moment when this is early in our podcasting days where it was, and we have the Danger Brain logo to prove it, where it was Tom and Dan go to London.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were gonna go to London.
We were going to go with Phil Rollins
I
from
think
Orlando
we should
City.
still go.
I do think we should go.
Yeah,
There's a BDM over there
you
right
would
now
go
visiting.
too. You would go too.
I'd love to.
Yeah, we'd bring
Never
you
been to
along.
Europe. Let's
We'd
go.
have to bring you along. We need somebody there to produce it. We couldn't just do this on our own. It'd be too much.
Yeah, and it's
I
just
would love to go to Europe with the show.
it's just
Euro trip.
is it just gonna be us?
Yeah.
No spouses?
No, we can bring our spouses.
Oh,
no, well, that's
Tom
not-
didn't want to bring the family.
Well, that's a lot of money.
Not the family. Bring our spouses.
I'll leave the kids.
Yeah, I'm not bringing Maisie. No, this is going to be,
Oh, my wife.
Tom hasn't left his kids once since they've been born.
I've
that's
left,
the best part of
but
having
my
kids is leaving them.
My wife is terrified of us both dying. I keep telling her, I'm like, it's
So
not
you have
gonna
to be with the
happen.
kids at all times. I get
No,
it.
well, one of us has to be with the remember, she went to London. I stayed with the kids that one
She's
time.
been a lot of places.
And Red
Red
Rock.
Rock.
Every month she goes to
Miami.
Red Rock.
I
You would think that she has a boyfriend in Colorado.
We went to Vegas and Seattle and stuff, back in the day. It's just she thinks that we're going to die in a plane crash and our boys are going to be lost in the world.
Yeah. I can feel
and
that.
I'm like, that's not going to happen. We're.
You also have other family members.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like they're going to an orphanage.
But my wife is so controlling.
What if
She's
somebody
like,
doesn't-
only
yeah.
I know how to do it. I'm like, everybody knows how to do it. They're
have
all
you seen the people that have children? Everybody can do
You
it.
notice that when he
they're
brings
fine.
up Crystal's side of things, I never argue because I normally side with her. I'm an emotional person.
And I'm like, think how tough they'll be if both their parents die in a plane crash.
Yeah.
Like they'll either
But
tough.
then eventually they'll end up standing on a beach and locking people into his stories. And like poor Tommy will be telling his stories and people can't leave awkwardly, not being able to leave the beach.
Yeah.
Let's do a couple of
All right.
voicemails before we get out of here. I've had this one for weeks. Now that Top Gun Maverick it's on Netflix, right? Can I watch that?
Is it on Netflix?
I think so. I
Is
want
it
to watch
already?
it. Yeah, it's already on there. I saw it. I want to watch it.
We went to the theater and
It
watched
may not be on Netflix, but I know I can rent it in my house.
It's good.
I know that.
It's Top Gun.
Here's a review.
Hey guys, BDM here. I was listening to your last show where
Oh my God.
Tom was talking about Top Gun, and he was talking about how they never talk about who the enemy is, and that pissed me off about that movie more than anything else because there's only one other country we sold F-14s to. Spoiler alert. The enemy has F-14s in the
That'd
movie.
be Iran.
There's only one other country that that we bought or that we sold F-14s to, and that's Iran. So yes, they're the enemy.
Oh, it's in the snow. It's not Iran. It's not the desert. But spoiler alert. It's in the snowy mountains.
Yeah,
so I
would
assume
say
that.
that's Russia.
But also it's a stupid movie where it doesn't matter who the actual. It's not real life, but it's in the snow in the mountains. So you put two and two is like this got to be Russia.
Yeah.
Or
That's what I would think.
But I understand.
I don't think it matters. It's a silly movie.
But also, I'm surprised that pissed them off, and not the fact that they said this country, the other country they're fighting against, the enemy, has more powerful planes than we do. Like that won't happen. Like, we spend the most money on the military.
Exactly.
We got
spend billions, trillions.
Yeah. We got some good planes.
One more.
Hey guys, I just want to chime in here on the food poisoning, how long stuff stays out, all that. So there's a thing called a temperature danger zone. It's from 41
Wait a
to
minute, Top Gun.
Ties in.
41, 131, I can't remember, degrees Fahrenheit. And food in that range is at the highest chance of growing and cultivating bacteria. You're allowed 4 hours to hold food in that. And then otherwise, you have to get it down either below or above that to keep the bacteria from growing or killing it. All right.
Okay, here's what I heard. Blah, 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 blah. And here's what I'm saying. If a listener makes me a Wonder Bread and bologna and Kraft American cheese sandwich and puts tons of mayonnaise, preferably Miracle Whip because I don't like mayonnaise. If you put the Miracle Whip with the tiny little paprika spots in it, all over that sandwich, and you lay it on that sidewalk out there, and I get here at 8 a.m., and I load out everything, and I'll let that thing bake in the sun until 3 p.m., and I'll pick it up, and I will eat the entire sandwich, and nothing, repeat, nothing will happen to me. No food poisoning, no sickness, no hospitalization, not diarrhea. Nothing will happen to me.
Yeah. And also the bacteria, the mold that could grow on it, like you could eat that, right? It's not like deadly bacteria will grow on
we eat
the
mold
mayonnaise.
all the time.
I guess the mayonnaise would spoil and make you puke, maybe. But that's the only thing that it wouldn't turn.
I'm telling you that even if you do
harmful.
mayonnaise and it turns and I eat it, nothing will happen.
Well, like if you left it out there for a week, then that's a different story. Then it turns green. Like you can't eat that.
No, you can't eat that.
Yeah.
You
But
don't want to
they-
eat that.
but-
But I'll go a little extra. Here's your bonus. If it does turn green, you give me a fork, I'll scrape the green off that thing, and then I'll eat it. Nothing will happen.
Do you guys? This drives my wife crazy. But
Oh no, it's gonna be something I don't do because when I brush my teeth every night since you've told me that your wife makes you turn this faucet on, wet your toothbrush, then turn it off and brush your teeth without the sink going, I make sure to leave it on extra to waste the water.
Yeah, to counteract.
Yeah,
the
to
good thing.
counteract it.
Yeah, I'll tell her that.
Yeah,
But
you should be allowed to do that.
I forgot what I was.
Yeah, it's
you
medical
took it.
marijuana. No, you were saying my wife.
Oh,
it drives me
avocado.
crazy. Avocado.
So she'll put a half of avocado in the fridge, right, or whatever.
Andrea Ziplocs.
And even in Ziploc, but the top will turn brown.
You gotta cut
right,
that
like
off.
brown black, and then
Oxidized, yeah.
And then she'll
Scrape off
I'm
the
like,
top.
I don't want to eat this, and she's like, no, underneath, you scrape off the top. Underneath is. I'm like, no, I'm done. I don't want to eat the half. Scrape off the top black and eat the underneath.
It's the first time me and I agree. I think this is the first time
So
we've
you
ever
chunk
agreed
the
on
whole
the show.
thing in the trash?
Yeah, I would,
I'm
too.
like, who cares?
Now,
It's avocado.
Andrea's going to make me scrape it, and I will for Maisie. But if it's for me, I'm not eating it.
Yeah.
I'm not eating
I'm
it.
like,
I'm the king, and the king does not eat
I want
a rotten
fresh
avocado.
Yeah, I don't want to scrape off the black top and then eat it underneath. And
Yeah.
she's like, it's the same. I'm like, no.
You got to see how I run things in my house. I'm the king. And when Maisie's like, why do you get candy? I go, because I ate all my dinner. I'm the king. And she's like, I want candy. I'm like, you don't get candy. You didn't eat your dinner. I'm the king.
I want to be the king.
Well, you can come to my house and watch how the king does it.
Two kings?
Two kings.
All right.
Oh, man. Jamie Foxx. I'm Jamie Foxx. You're the rapper. You're Marky Mark.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm Jamie. No, I'm Ice Cube because I'm pudgy. I'm pudgy like Ice Cube. So I'm Ice Cube. You could be Jamie Foxx if you want.
No, too small.
Okay, you're Marky Mark. I'm Ice Cube.
Yeah.
We are two kings. Sam, you can be
Jamie Foxx.
You can be Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
We'll do the paint.
Oh
I
man,
don't want to
Sam. But I'd
I'll
watch.
pass
Sam.
on the paint.
I would
Okay.
watch Sam and Katie Holmes. Though I'll tell you that.
Oh, bye-bye.